Right now, the film industry is a hot mess, I think we all can agree. They just can't seem to get out of their own way. They have nothing to offer outside of some hollow agenda-driven content, and that can't rise to the level of art or entertainment or anything that we've had in the decades past. Yet, every once in a while, a gem will emerge. It's not a flashy gem, it doesn't cost a lot of money to make, and it lifts your spirits and brings the audiences together, which is really hard to do now. Well, at least for the most part. We have a film like that right now. It's called Ghostbusters Afterlife. And this film is something that the critics and the activists are going to look down their nose at. They don't like it. They despise it for simply existing. The problem is for Hollywood that this type of film, and maybe even specifically this film, is the only way forward. But there are some new ideas that come into play when it comes to this, and it came from an unlikely place. Let's talk about it. I found this article a while ago, to be honest with you. I don't often go looking for great insight in a trade magazine like Deadline, but it kind of resonated with me and made a little bit of sense. And of course, I'm always, clipping articles and making sure I hold on to them because they might be relevant later on. So from the first, I knew that I was never going to agree with this author on almost anything. It was never going to happen. And as I read on, I actually got the points that they were trying to make, and they made them quite adroitly. And they simply were defining the divide in today's moviegoers, and they did a good job. They also were defining a problem that you can't really fix, or at least modern studios can't really fix right now, which is appealing to the four quadrants, right? There isn't an easy way to breathe life into something in the first place. Filmmaking is incredibly hard. To call it difficult is probably an understatement. And that is more difficult when you try to take an established property, like something like Ghostbusters or Star Wars or Star Trek, and it gets even worse if you try to change it because you tend to alienate the fan base that built the value of it in the first place, and then that kills the value of the franchise, and that's kind of where we are now. So when it came to making this Ghostbusters film, right, this time around, the decision-making process led them to change everything entirely. I mean, go a completely different direction. It was a pretty wise decision. And it brings to light an idea that this author actually describes in the article, which again, was pretty surprised I was agreeing with this person. Make your film, or how about make two of them? It's actually already kind of been done, and we're going to talk about that right now. If you do this, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to see a way forward for your franchise, right? Because the one with the box office success that the audiences enjoyed, there was positive word of mouth about, is going to be the one that basically resonates with your audience. And well, all we have to do is look at Ghostbusters 2016 and realize that the audience rejected this film, especially at the box office. And honestly, that's the only place anything like this should ever count. The film itself cost a whopping $144 million to make. I honestly don't know where any of that money went. It certainly didn't go into the film. Ghostbusters Afterlife, on the other hand, cost a grand total of $75 million, and you can see where every dollar went on the screen of this particular film. So, Ghostbusters 16, because it was a financial disappointment, will probably not be profitable for quite some time. I mean, as of right now, as I'm filming this, it's still not profitable. Ghostbusters Afterlife, maybe quite profitable. It's hard to say. It's only 2 days, 3 days, 4 days in. But regardless, it still has a much easier path to profitability. There are also other places that films, franchise films especially, make money. And it's in the toy aisle. That's right, Ghostbusters Afterlife is likely to excite the toy aisle and the collectibles market as well. And I would suspect that you're going to see a lot of that merchandise move rather quickly. And of course, let's face it, no one bought toys from the last film. I mean, maybe a couple people. Arguments over politics, or at least the politics of all of these things, aren't going to be dismissed anytime soon. The hardcore fans from either side are always going to disagree. Just seems like there's more hardcore fans that are with the original properties than seem to be with the newer ones, at least financially anyway. What's interesting is this author also stumbles into an incredible idea. Make the same movie twice. Like I said, kind of already did that. Ghostbusters 2016, Ghostbusters Afterlife. We're gonna have competing views. We'll see what happens. But make the same movie twice it seems pretty simple. You basically make one with a story-driven character model, similar to, everything else that was great, and then make one with the agenda stuff baked into it too. But make the same film. Same budgets, same sets, even use the same rough plot anyway, because again, plot and story are important to good films, and other things are used in place of those in films for modern audiences. You could actually release the films simultaneously. In fact, I think that would be excellent. Have them actually compete head to head with each other. Have audiences compare the films and the film's elements to each other. As the author actually suggests here, have the sides of the debate push the earnings of the films higher and higher. Sounds like a win to me. It could actually be interesting to see what wins out at the end of the day. I think you and I both know what would likely win. But, I've come to the end of my thought process here, so I'm going to do something I always do. I'm going to ask you, what do you think? Do you think that competitive films would succeed? Would they give the studios a clear-cut message on which way forward was going to be more profitable? Not that that seems to be something they care about nowadays anyway. And is it worth trying that out just once, twice, 3 times a year? Maybe. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and as usual, I think we can have a good discussion back and forth. Maybe you have some other ideas that might help the future of moviegoing. So I'm going to end the video the same way I always do, tell you and suggest to you that you should support other independent creators here on the platform, from the comics to the webtoons to the people like me. Independent creators are not pushed on the platform any longer. It's all the mainstream media, as you've seen. They even try to shut down smaller independent creators. Well, not really smaller, but people like Rakeda Law, who was knocked down a couple of times by YouTube because he was just absolutely obliterating the coverage elsewhere from the mainstream. So be sure to support independent creators. Be sure to like, subscribe, share their content. Help them grow, because the more voices we have, the more we can actually get back to positive change in the world. And as I always say, be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye. Hey there. One last quick note before I let you go, and before we make it to the end of this video. I, CultureCasino, have a brand new Teespring store. That's right, you can now go to Teespring, look up CultureCasino, or use the link in the video below, and pick out some handsome and beautiful CultureCasino merchandise with many different designs and styles and colors, many different items. I was actually surprised at all of the things that you could create. And I have some more designs and items on the way here shortly. But, if you want to support the channel in that way, there is some merch. Otherwise, here comes the ending. Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.